Okay guys, so new addition to Frankenstein here. Got some towing mirrors. Got these off eBay. Much better than the little factory mirrors it had before. Plus this newer style, brings the truck up to date. Another thing that adds to the newness of the truck, even though it's not really new. But these are the 2015 style mirrors. So here's the brand I went with, SYPPO. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I actually found these guys on eBay, and I'll have a link in the description of where you can order these yourself off eBay. They also have a website, and I'll have that in the link too, so you can order off their website if you want. But they came real quick, real happy with the shipping. I've got these all bolted up, wired up, ready to go. They are chrome. I know a lot of people think with the bed liner that I should probably go black, but I got the chrome ones. These are also have a new style light in them. It's quite a bit different than what is normally online and what's normally sold on these 15 style mirrors. And it's quite a bit different than what you're thinking. They have parking lights and turn signals. I didn't have to go in, didn't have to wire nothing, didn't have to take nothing apart. They are LED, and I'll show you that in a second. Right now I'm kind of trying to decide if I should level the mirrors or not. You can see they are angled like all the towing mirrors are. But when you step back with the blade on it, and the angle of the blade, it's kind of like the mirrors were designed to kind of flow with the flared wings of the blade. So normally I would just level them right away, and because that's the way I like them, that's the way the OEMs are. But I'm not real sure about this one, so to think about it for a little bit here and see if I'm gonna level these or not. But onto the function of the lights, I'll show you what they do. Okay, so there's the parking light function of the mirrors. Yeah, both those light up, and it kind of wraps around. So that's pretty cool. Now comes the turn signals, which is very unique. Something I've not really seen. It's like a sequential, tail light, only these are on the mirrors here. You can see the light flows down the side of it, which is pretty neat actually. I thought they were neat. So that's the turn signals. Also, they have the standard turn signals, back here. You've got the red arrow. And then these also have the backup light, or the courtesy light, whatever you want to call it, in there. Okay, so I had to do a little modification to the mounting base on these mirrors. The mirrors came with the wires like coming out up here on the top side of the mirror. They weren't coming out in the middle of the mirror in the hole that the factory wires go through. And when I bolted the first one up, it pinched the wires really bad. So what I did is I took the little plastic deal that usually goes in the center. They got like wings, and it kind of like holds the mirror. I'm not exactly sure what those are for. If those are for installing, you push the mirror in and let them hold it and then do your bolts. I've never trusted them to do that. I've always held onto the mirror and started one bolt to mount them up. So I just did away with those little plastic pieces. So now the wires actually come out in the factory location, right through the hole that the OEM used. And then they just bolted up 3 bolts, and they seem to fit real good. They fit the body good. Okay, so now I guess I'm going to show you how I wired everything up, how I achieved the parking lights and turn signals on this thing. Now remember, this is the 99 GMC. I know it looks like an 07 and up Chevy truck, but it is a 99 GMC. So let's take a look at the wiring. Okay, so the mirrors come with a wiring harness here, and there's 2 plugs. This big plug here will plug into the factory plug on your truck. That runs the power mirrors, and then if you have defrost, it'll run that too. The second plug, the little plug right here, this is for all the lights, turn signals, and everything. Just make sure you line up when you plug it in here to the harness. This is the harness they send with. That's going to run through your door panel and then to your power sources that you choose. Just make sure that all the wires line up when you plug that in. Okay, so here's how I did the wiring. The doors are going to be the same. I left all the plugs in here, even though they give you a really long piece of wire. I left all the plugs in here, so if I ever get a new mirror or got to replace it or something, it's easily unplugged right here without having to take the whole door panel off. Run the wires down here. I have grounded right here. This is where I got it grounded on both doors right there, just to simplify it, so I ain't got to run a wire all the way into the cab and ground it there. The rest of these wires are going down into the door panel, and then they go across in this rubber boot. Now this rubber boot snaps off. There's 2 clips you got to push in, and they snap off here. I used a wire, fished my wire through here, and then into the cab there. This is actually the wire right there. It'll be covered when put the cover back on. The wire then runs across the dash and then to right underneath the steering wheel there. Again, both doors run the same way. I'll show you how I hooked them up. Okay, we're at the other door, same thing, both plugs in here. Run the wires down, grounded there, run the wires down the door, through the little rubber grommet thing, into the cab, routed it up to this centerpiece here. This is where I got all my power. You're gonna have on the middle plug right here. Now this is a 99 GMC Silverado. I'm guessing it's pretty close to the same all the way to 07. Again, you're going to want to check all your wires. This is just a reference here to help people out. You're going to want to always check your wires, make sure you're getting the right wires and the function that you want. But on mine, the middle plug there's a purple wire with a white stripe on the end there. That was my running light or parking lights. I tapped that. Blue wires on these mirrors are the running lights, so I tapped both them into that. Okay, so along with these blue wires here, you're going to have to add a diode. I found this out after I had everything hooked up, and I was getting a back feed from the turn signal to the opposite side mirror. The parking lights would flash, and what was happening is I've connected the parking lights together, and when you turn the turn signal on, there's a back feed of power. I'm not sure why, but there's a back feed of power that comes through these blue wires. So to fix the problem, I had to add a diode, and I'll explain what a diode is in a second here. Okay, so here's a diode, and I just got like 100 pack off eBay. I believe they're 1 amp, 50 volt or something like that. Anyway, what a diode does is it only allows electricity to flow one way. So what I've set this up to do is it allows the parking light power to go to the mirrors when the parking lights are on. But when the turn signal turns on and that back feed tries to come back through the wire, this diode stops it. Like I said, this is like a check valve for power. It only allows power to flow in one direction. This is actually good for hooking up stuff with multiple different power sources, and so you don't backfeed into the other power source, you use a diode. It's got a little gray stripe there that tells you which way the power will flow. So make sure you're setting these up right when you put them on, because if you screw them up, you have to turn them around. But that's how I fixed that issue. Red wires are the turn signals. There's a left and a right. And on my truck, the plug all the way over here, all the way on the left, if you're sitting in the driver's seat, there's a light blue wire and a dark blue wire on the top row. I'm not going to be able to get a good shot of that, but on the top row of that plug, a light blue and a dark blue. I forget which one is which. Again, you have to use your test light. Should be easy to spot it. Turn your turn signal on. You should be able to see it flashing. So I've tapped into each one of those. Now the white wire here is actually for a backup or courtesy. I really looked all over the place looking for the courtesy light, how to get the courtesy light to work. So like when you unlock the doors and stuff, it comes on. I couldn't find anything on this truck. I'll have to keep looking. So what I did is I turned it into a backup light, and I just tapped into, there's a plug here and there's a green wire coming out of it that has power when you go into reverse. So I just tapped into that one. So now when I go into reverse, those white lights will come on, and they'll go out when I put it in any other gear. So that's how I've hooked this up. Again, this is a 99 GMC. Depending on what year you have, it may be different, maybe completely different. Always check to make sure what you're hooking up to is what you want to hook up to. So get your test light out and check all your wires. But that's how I achieved it on this truck, guys. It's not hard. It just takes a lot of time running wires, finding wires, testing wires. It's pretty time consuming stuff. So it took me a while. I've been out here, I believe 3 hours or so now. But that's what it usually takes. So I'm actually ready to button everything up. I put all my panels on. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.